reporter Melissa Correa in the newsroom, and I wanted to kind of walk you through the story that I'm working on for KHOU 11 News at 4:30. We figured we'd put the information out now in case there are some people who are wanting to become their own sort of investigative reporters. Okay, so we're talking NASA, we're talking Apollo 11 50th anniversary, and we're talking kind of photos of the past, which is perfect for Flashback Friday today. All of this started because I received a private message on my KHOU Facebook page, Melissa Correa, where this gal Margarita said, hey, listen, my husband passed away, but I found all of this documentation that showed that he was part of the Apollo 11, Apollo 12, and Apollo 13 missions. How can I go about finding some of these photos? And so I called NASA there at their office in Washington, D.C., and this gal who's answered the phone, who's in charge of kind of curating all of the images for NASA, said, you wouldn't believe how many people are calling. They heard their grandparents worked for NASA or for a NASA contractor, or friends worked there in the past, and people are trying to track down the photos. The gal said, NASA was expecting this. I mean, with every anniversary, we start to see excitement with pictures and video. And so they've created this easy way for you to navigate it online. And so I figured since you're watching me online, we can walk you through the process. Chloe is joining me behind the scenes. Are we ready to flip over to the website? Okay, I'm walking over to the computer. We're going to this website. This is the keeper of all the info. It's images.nasa.gov. Again, images.nasa.gov. And while the gal on the other end of the phone laughed at me when I asked if I could search by name, the likelihood of you finding a photo by name is slim to none because NASA didn't keep in a public database like the names of every single employee and contractor ever, but you can search by different things. So like Apollo 11, for instance, whoops. Okay, let's go back, Chloe.
It's not letting you type there?
No. You can search like Apollo 11, for instance. You can search for Houston. You can search for all sorts of different things here. They're giving you the example of Orion. Live stream, peeps.
Bear with us.
Bear with us.
I don't know if we can type in here.
We might not be able to type in.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we'll just enable the keyboard. Keyboard enabled, okay. So, for instance, you can search Apollo 11. And Chloe's keeping track of comments. I'm sure a lot of you have some sassy ones about what's happening live, but I'm going to wait if you've got any comments. So you can search Apollo 11, and as you can see for Apollo 11 alone, it brings up more than 1,000 images. And so this is every anniversary. This is everything that's happened since then. This is all the way to 2019. And so the interesting thing is you can go back to 1970. The Apollo 11 lunar landing happened July 20th. Of 1969, and so I'll kind of go there, and then you can update the results. And so let's say you're looking for images in the control room or anything like that. You can start the search. They also have an offering of videos and then audio recordings too. And so it's just really neat. And so the interesting thing is here is you have options. For instance, let's say you're looking for, I don't know, a profile picture or something. And you'll go here. And so you'll find the write-up of everything that's happening in here. For instance, you know, some of the big names like Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, you'll find these in these search engines here for NASA. And then you can save the images to whatever you'd like for that to be downloaded in whatever size. And NASA says, generally speaking, if this is just for private personal use, if you're wanting to add photos to your family's gallery or collection, or you're wanting to find your grandparent who worked at NASA, like you can download and keep all of this image for free. It's not copyrighted, nor are the videos or the audio recordings. However, you can't just go about using this for commercials or for monetary gain. There are separate rules for that. So this is the interesting thing. You can also go back and let's say, for instance, I wanted to try Margarita's husband, see if he was in the database, and his last name was Castañeda. just to show you. Not everybody's going to pop up there, but at least you can try. And we'll go here. And so it'll tell you nothing there. But you can try Houston, for example. And this I thought was so neat because clearly NASA is located in the Houston suburb of Clear Lake. And these are all recordings and podcasts and stuff. But look at this. This is wild. We've got NASA astronauts at an Astros game. You have NASA astronauts who were working out of the Houston area. Look at this old photo from a parade through downtown Houston, offering a flight crew. And so this is neat. And so this is from 2009. And so you'll find all of these different images there. Some people also wondered, okay, I've had a family member who worked as a contractor for NASA. Can you find that? And so, for instance, like Philco Ford helped to build Houston's mission control back in the 1960s. And so if I type in Philco Ford, you don't get any results. And so don't let that discourage you, NASA says. Try Houston Mission Control instead. And then you can go in and you can look at all these pictures. This is the daunting thing, though, is it's going to take time because the name, for instance, in this photo, like the names of every single person in that photo are not part of this picture. But you can go back and you can kind of see, okay, this is a color photo. Oh my gosh, that's my family member. This is rad. And you can share this. And it also gives you options if you see there to share immediately on Facebook, Twitter, Google, or Pinterest. And so that's the neat thing about it. But it has all of the information there. And does anybody have anything?
A lot of people just telling you that they have family members.
Yeah, like for instance, Geneva's like, my dad worked for Boeing for NASA, from first endeavor to the last one out of Clear Lake. So like, let me just see, his name was Michael O'Rourke. And so I don't know that it'll pop up, but it's worth a try. I misspelled it. O'Rourke. None there, but she talked about the fact that her dad worked for Endeavor on the Endeavor mission. And so let's see what comes up there. And it's just so much stuff. And so it's so neat. And so, you know, I think when we look back at NASA history, clearly we resonate well with the astronauts and the spacecraft, but you get to see all of these behind the scenes pics. Like here are the astronauts with some other folks there. Let me keep going. And there's pages and pages of this stuff. See, so you can go to the next page and see. I love that everybody's writing in and they're tagging their friends, which I think is so cool. Solanda is saying she was born in 1969. Jackie's talking about how she worked at NASA. Donald says, I have a relationship with my toaster and my microwave, closest I can get. Well, Donald, they probably have pics of toasters and microwaves that were used in space. Just kidding, I'm not sure about that. But, you know, it's just so neat. Yeah, Grandpa Richard Holman. My father was a mechanical engineer, worked for NASA. And so I just think it's so neat. And also the fact that this database exists and it's free. Again, it's images.nasa.gov. This is something that you could pull up on a tablet or you could pull up on your computer. If you have a smart TV, you can pull this up and kind of go through all of these different images with your kids. We're still on the Endeavor project here. Just giving a shout out to you know, some folks who talked about the missions there. So this is NASA let me try it again. This is images.nasa.gov. And I'll tell you something, this is a much streamlined website because Chloe, how do we get back to just like an internet browser? Because I wanted to show folks the difference between another one. So for instance, like if you just go to nasa.gov, which Chloe's going to pop up for us now, you have to jump through more hurdles. So this is NASA's website, which is cool. I mean, tomorrow is going to be the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 lunar landing. So duh, they're going to have all this stuff on their homepage. I get it. And it's really cool right now because they're doing like a daily image. And so it's got video and pics of everything there. Like on this day, this is what was happening. So if you're looking for Apollo 11 specific stuff, you can go to NASA's homepage and you'll be dandy. But normally you'd then have to go to galleries, and then you'd go here to image galleries, and then you'd have to figure out, okay, what do I want to search for? Pop-ups galore. Do I want to do photos? Do I want to do images? Do I want to shoot it by missions? And so NASA, that's why they created images.nasa.gov, because it's just, instead of going through all that stuff, depending on how much of a whiz you are, now you just go here and it gives you the audio, the video, and the images only. Also too, what's so cool is it shows you what's really popular. Space is really popular, and it's got some fun things there. But then you all are commenting on your Facebook page. Dad worked at NASA, says Susan. My wife's dad worked there, says Mike. I just think it's so neat. Like, no matter whether you live in Houston or not, everybody wants and is so proud of the connection they have with NASA. And it's just this great feather in the cap for the United States and really the world. I mean, it bridged us together 50 years ago. Everybody was looking up. But if you're on our Facebook page, Chloe, let's go to KHOU's Facebook page, because guys, this is so fun.
Give us a second.
Give us a second, peeps. We're just two gals trying to show you some tricks. Okay. So if you go to KHOU's Facebook page, in a second, in a galaxy far, far away, yeah. Okay, and then I'll pop up for a second. It'll load.
Yeah, no, it wants us to log in.
It's okay, it's right there. Can we click on that? Yeah. Okay, so if you, yeah, I always cheat it. So if you go to KHOU's Facebook page, this is one of our, we're going to see if I can pin this post, but they said make an out of this world profile photo. And so we created this frame for you, and let me pop mine up, Chloe, so you can pull me up. Okay, let me come back in here. We just thought it was so neat because everybody's trying to create space pics. And so this is mine. Isn't that fun? So you can make a KHOU Apollo 11 50th anniversary Facebook profile pic, and you can kind of save the pic. I've saved it. I think I'm going to put it on Twitter and Instagram, but that's available as well. And then also at 4:30 and 6 o'clock today on KHOU 11, I'm going to walk you through again, images.nasa.gov. So you can watch that on TV. It'll have a little bit more detail. It'll be a lot more streamlined and smoothed out than this live feed. But the other opportunity, if you are in Houston, is like the photos with the murals. There are so many Space City themed murals that have popped up in the Houston area over the last month or so. There's one at the Green Street District downtown that's got this really great view of space and an astronaut, and shout out to Houston. There's another one at 8th Wonder. There's another one at Social Beer Garden, I believe. And so we're starting to see all of these different images with astronauts, with Houston skyline, with Space City, with hashtag HOU, with rockets and different spacecraft and stuff like that in the murals. So keep an eye out for that. I know there's so many events that KHOU has posted on our website at khou.com talking about everything that's happening tomorrow for the 50th anniversary of the lunar landing. So if you're out and about and you see one of these murals, snap a photo, either a selfie or see if you can get a neighbor to kind of take one of you and your family and friends, because this anniversary doesn't come around often. It's such a treasure, and we wanted to share all of these different opportunities with you. So thanks for going down memory lane with me. Thank you for being patient with us as we worked the technology, and I'll see you on TV at 4:30. Be safe, everybody.